Welcome back to 2D Design Tools. In this tutorial we will be drawing a ruler in which we can laser cut at a later point. Okay. So we'll start off with activating the grid lock, and we are going to change the spacing of the grid from 10mm spacing to 1mm spacing. Okay. And we can do that by right clicking the grid at the top here and changing the grid spacing from 10 down to 1, okay, for both X and Y. Click OK, and you'll notice the dots have disappeared altogether. If you zoom in, you'll be able to see that they are actually there, they're just a bit smaller. Okay. With the line tool, I'd like you to draw a vertical line, okay, that is a total of 6mm long. Okay. How do we know it's 6mm long? Well, we can either count, okay, from that first click, okay, looking closely at those dots. Alternatively, we can look at the bottom of the screen for the distance here. If the angle is either 0, 90, 180 or 270, then it will be either a horizontal line or a vertical line. If it's anything other than that, then you're drawing at a really strange, peculiar angle. Okay. The distance, so I'm just going to click first, leave my cursor where it is, and then move to my keyboard and use the arrows on my keyboard to come down. Notice the distance at the bottom on my screen has now gone to 1mm, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay. Once you finish, press enter on your keyboard, okay, and then press escape. Okay. Go back to the line tool. Okay. Let's just draw a single line this time. Go to that second dot at the base there, and I'd like you to come up 1, 2, 3mm. Oh no, let's make that 2. Okay. Let's draw several of these vertical lines, same height as that, up to the 10mm line. Okay, so we can go to the contour tool, go to the second one along, draw a contour parallel to a line, arc, circle or curve. Contour spacing 1mm. Okay, we zoom in just to the right hand side of that line, click just to the right hand side of that line, and you'll quickly draw up your ruler measurements. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we'll have a long one for the 10. Okay, if you go back to the select tool, click there, okay, and we'll copy. Let's just save our time. Copy that. Okay. Control C, then Control V to paste, and let's move this. Where does it need to go? Just along to there. Okay. Let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Brilliant. And let's paste again. Move. Paste again. Control V. Yeah, on your keyboard. Notice I'm clicking that central square in order to move it, because I don't want to change the proportions. These lines. Okay. Must be close to a 10cm ruler. Okay, how many is that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, a couple more. 9, 10. Okay, and then I just need to have one more long line, which I can copy and paste to finish off the measurements. Okay, let's draw a line at the bottom. Finish that one. Okay, and zoom out. So there are our measurements. Okay, it would be useful if we had some numbers next to these. And also, I think I quite like to have the 5th millimeter a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's that one. I'm just going to stretch that up by 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Stretch that up by 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and you get the idea if you continue along like so. Okay. Next stage, we need to finish off drawing the shape of our ruler. Okay, click on the line tool, draw a series of connected lines. Let's start here. Let's come along. So using your the arrows on your keyboard, let's come to the left by 5mm. Press Enter on your keyboard, and let's come up by, what's 15 enough? Let's come up by 20mm. Again, you can see at the bottom of my screen the distance is 20mm. That's the distance from the first click to where my cursor is now. Press Enter. Come all the way along using your right hand cursor on your keyboard. Okay, that's now in line with the last measurement. Let's just press Enter there. Come along by 5, all the way down to in line with the bottom part, and then back. Enter, and then Escape. Okay. Now, with anything that's laser cut, the corners, these sharp corners, are areas that can often break very, very easily. Okay, so in order to strengthen them, what we tend to do as designers is to just chamfer that corner, make it rounded. Okay, we can do that by holding down on the arc tool and selecting the last one along, which is draw a filleted arc between 2 lines. And we can make the radius 5mm. Let's just have a look what that is. Click on one line and then another. Okay, that looks fine to me. Yeah. There we go. And there's our ruler. Very basic ruler. You might like to personalise it with for a particular theme or anything of interest to you. So for this one, I'm going to go on the internet and find a silhouette. Notice how I spell silhouette here, which is just an outline of a shape. Okay, and the actual outline I'm looking for is for a footballer. Okay, here's the one I'd like. If I right click that, click copy, go back to my 2D design, right click, paste here. Okay, now it's likely that this could be far too large. Okay, so you can just resize it to something that's appropriate. Okay. We now use the vectorize tool, which is on the left hand side here. So with the image selected, click on the vectorize tool, click back from the image, go to monochrome, which is black and white, and adjust the luminance of the image until you get the right definition for what you want, and then click OK. OK again. And what's happened here is that the 2D design software has traced all the way around this shape for you, so that makes it so much easier than tediously clicking around an image. Okay, click on the image, click the line tool, make sure the line tool is fine. Okay, go to color, okay, and select, let's click red. Okay, and then the fill, we don't want a fill, so we'll click on no fill. Okay, now we've just got an outline. Let's move that onto our ruler. Okay, again, I think it's still a bit too big, so I'm going to reduce the size down. Maybe change the angle. Reduce the size again. Okay, brilliant, that should do. Right, I seem to have an odd line here, so we can remove that. If we click on the image, go to Edit, Ungroup. Okay, now it's broken up into lots of separate lines. I can click on that line and delete it. Okay. Now, just as your previous tutorial explained, anywhere you've got an overlap, you can very easily delete the parts you want to. So if I go to delete part, an object, okay, delete that part and that part. Okay. However, I would like the lower part of this leg to be engraved and the top part of the body to be cut out. Okay, so that forms the shape of my ruler. Okay, so what I can do for this is copy and paste. So I've got another footballer over here, identical one. Delete the lower half, like so. Delete that part, that part, that part. Okay, that's red. Okay, now move this back over. Just group that. Okay, grouping is Control G on your keyboard to group. Okay. And then go to the delete tool, and I should hopefully be able to delete the top part. Like so. Okay, so I can now select the lower half. Hasn't quite worked there. Change the colour to this green at the bottom here. That means it will engrave. Okay, hasn't quite worked there. Let's just try that part again by copying and pasting. Okay, I'll group that, Control G on my keyboard. Delete that part here. Move this back up in position to there, and delete that top part. It's not worked. Okay, for that last little part, let's just do that freehand. So let's take off gridlock, go onto the attach tool, close to there, take off the attach tool, and we can just draw, so leave that on to draw a line to there, and then take it off again to draw the knee, attach to here. Okay. This part of the line, we need to make that red, and the lower half that we want to be engraved needs to be green. Okay. This part here is also going to be cut out, so that needs to be red. And there we have it. So round here, that will be cut out, this section here. Round the body will also be cut out, being red. Okay. And we need to cut out the outside of the ruler. Okay, so if I can click, if I hold down Shift and go round my shape, I can select it. Okay. Colour red to cut, and then these details here, okay, I like those without that bottom line. Okay, that will be green. Okay, now it's up to you whether you have the ball cut or engraved. I think for this I'll have it engraved. And there we have the ruler. To put the measurements in, the numbers, go to the ABC tool. Okay, type in the number. If it's too big, not to worry. Let's just resize that to how we want it. Zoom in if you're struggling to see what you're doing here. Move it into the right place. Copy and paste it to the next one. Go to Property, the bottom of your screen, and change it from 0 to 1. Okay. Move it again to where you want it, and just go all the way along, pasting that initial number, moving in position, going to Property at the bottom right, and changing it. Okay. Once you've finished putting all your numbers in, just select all of them. So click on one, hold down Shift on your keyboard, which is the arrow, select them all together, line, fine, colour, green, fill, no fill.